We're back here in our keyhole garden, and it's been a few years since we've been in here and visited it with you guys. We wanted to kind of showcase it and tell you what's been going on. A couple of years ago, we planted some perennials in here, including just a couple of Helene von Stein lamb's ears, and you can see how they have taken off. They've really enjoyed the soil that they're growing in here. And of course, we've still got some Mexican feathergrass as well. So at this point, we're kind of looking at this lamb's ear and we need to do something about it. It's kind of taken over. So I wanted to share with you what you might do if you have a situation where you've got some perennials and you're looking at cutting them back, getting them ready for the spring. And what you're going to do is just take a couple of hand pruners or whatever kind of pruners or scissors you might have for landscaping. And we're going to go in here and just start chopping some of this old growth back. When you get in here, you can see how there are these older canes, and a lot of this is just old growth up here. But if you go down into it where it's been warmer over the winter time, you can see there's new growth coming on. So we're just going to trim back to where that new growth is, and that'll allow fresh new growth to come out this spring. After you get a lot of the bigger stuff taken out, what you're going to do is just rake out some of those leaves and clean it up a little bit more. And you can see that the plant itself is not actually as big as what it first appeared. So I think originally we planted about 5 lamb's ear, and you can see that this was one plant, but as it grows and the stems fall to the ground, they tend to root themselves. In fact, you can see how there are roots on some of these. And so a lot of this is just babies off of this main plant. Now we're going to go ahead and leave this one, but I think this plant up here in the foreground, we're going to go ahead and remove it. So when we dig it up, there's a lot of plants that can be made from this. And really, you're just going to try to get into the outside of the plant. Lamb's ear is a pretty tough perennial, so you don't have to be too cautious. You're definitely going to be dividing some of this up. Again, there you can see the roots, how those have grown, and that's over the rocks there. So we're just going to go in here with our shovel and start digging. All right, as you dig it up, you can see we've got a good clump here with a good amount of root system on it. But this is actually a really large plant, and as I was digging, it actually divided itself. You can see here's another plant here. And again, we're just going to pull some of those roots. But even this can be divided further and actually wants to. You can do this with your hands. A lot of times they'll just tease apart that way. Or you can go in with your shovel on something larger like this and actually use your shovel blade to cut it in half and divide those roots, because they can be quite coarse. So out of that one plant, you can see that we were able to multiply it and get 4 new plants to add to our garden.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.